Right guys, welcome back to the channel. You may have seen a couple of days ago I put a video up about some product from Zinge Industries, and this was one of the things that I received, and I said that this would be quite cool to basically make an AdMech breacher or destroyer. So I put it together very simply. So we had the main body, and then there was just sort of 4 pieces to glue on the side. You can maybe see there, I'll just point at them with the knife. So this one, and there's 2 in there as well. The tracks went straight on the sides, this little piece on the top, and very kind of steam-esque with the pistons there. It reminds us very much of a steam train. But you know what, I think it's going to look quite cool when we do this. So I've got a host of spares here from the destroyer slash breacher box. I've got a couple of bits and pieces here as well. These are from the Imperial Guard Sentinel kit, and we've got, I think it's a heavy gauze blaster from a Necron destroyer, and these little pipes here are some of the pieces from Zinge Industries. So I've also got some like little dials and clocks and stuff which I want to stick on it as well, but we need to get the body of this built up. I'm pretty much going to build it on the fly as we go. I've just basically selected a whole host of bits, so we've got a couple of pistons, the body, an arm or 2 there as well. But what I'm going to do is, because I've got the spare guns, I'm actually going to keep it so I can switch these between both breachers and destroyers where possible. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, I don't feel that this is quite high enough for the main body, and I feel like I needed something to kind of flesh the main part of the body out with. So what I thought was maybe use the gun, put some glue in here, and then use the bits of pipes. So I've just realised as well, my light probably isn't in the best position to do this, seeing as I'm right-handed, but we'll do. We'll get by. So obviously I've already pre-measured this part and cut it to fit in, but those pipes fit very nicely in there. Mainly just to push them down a little bit while the glue sets, and then we'll do the other side as well. And I've literally just raided my bits box to make this, and sorry about my tummy growling. I will try and keep out of the light as much as possible, and then I figure maybe kind of stick that down there. I think I'm just going to clean the edge of that off with the knife, make it a little bit flatter. And there we go. So I'm not going to stick that on the top of that yet. I do need to kind of create the body for it. So I've got the back of a Necron. Oop. When I don't drop it on the floor. I've done that a few times, actually. So yeah, I've got the back of a Necron, I want to say a Mortal. I've still got the front chest plate off the, when the camera focuses, got the front chest plate off the breacher there as well. And what I thought was maybe kind of glue them together, like around that. So yeah, let's do that. Right, so after a little bit of playing around, I've kind of fitted the back of the Necron, the front torso, and what's left of the gun together. But I think that when I place it on there, it's definitely way too high. So I think what I'm going to do is actually cut this in half, and I'll use the other half for when I make the second one. So I'm just going to quickly cut that in half and come back and glue that on there. So there we go. I definitely think that's a bit better. It's more height appropriate, but obviously I feel like it kind of needs packing out a little bit. It feels like it's too narrow, so I'll be putting loads of bits and pieces around the sides here. And 2 bits I am going to be using, I think these are kind of the rear exhausts from the back of one of them. So I figured we could maybe just get them here at the back. You know, the more kind of pipes and everything you get in, the better it's gonna look. You have to excuse not being able to see too much. I have massive hands. There we go, just starting to fill and pack that out quite a bit. Obviously you can see the backs of the pipes there, but I've got loads of stuff to fill out with. I've got all these pipes here. Why won't the camera focus? So I've got all these pipes here. Got these pipes and tubes and everything. And obviously we've got all these doodads to put on as well. I'm already looking forward to this a lot. What have we got next? We've got a head. Let's stick the head on. Clean that little off cut off first. I should have maybe done this before, but never mind. Yeah, let's get the head on. I feel like that's a little bit hollow in there, so I think what I'm actually going to do is stick a little bit of this pipe in. Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll cut that actually just above there. Now this stuff is actually made of rubber, but it's got like a metal wire running down the center of it. I don't know if you can see that when it focuses. But yeah. So let's get that down in the body. I don't know if anyone's ever actually tried to do this before, but trying to build this but looking through the camera screen is incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. Yeah, there's not a lot of space. I can't really get my hands around, but hopefully it pays off for you guys. It looks quite cool already. With this arm, I'm going for the, I want to say this is the hydraulic claw. I do want to put this in here obviously, but I'm actually going to stick a magnet in and magnetize it instead. But for the minute I really want to flesh out what's going on around the front. So I've got another spare chest plate. I think this one's off the Destroyer one because they're not as heavily armoured. I'm thinking about just sticking that maybe in there. Maybe trim the top of that off a little bit just so that it does dig in. I'm quite enjoying doing this, to be honest. It's a while since I've kind of kitbashed, and especially I think it's a long time since I've done a tutorial actually. I can't remember the last time I did. I've just had so much going on between college, work, obviously a lot of games ongoing and stuff as well. Just put a spot glue on there. The reason I'm gluing stuff together with super glue is because obviously there's rubber, there's resin, there's plastic. It's just going to be easier to stick everything together with super glue. So that's starting to look quite cool. I do feel like we need some bits and pieces up the sides though. It feels a little bit bare there. So let's have a look. What have we got? Got some canisters and stuff. But I feel sticking them on the sides probably isn't the best. But there is quite a bit there. Let's have a look. Let's try this. This feels very much like kind of an alloy or metal. Yeah, let's feed that through there. I think that'll look quite cool. See if this cuts. yeah, that cuts with the snips, no problem at all. So I've got a tiny bit here. I'm just gonna tidy the edge up. And it's actually very, very easy to bend and manipulate as well, so that's really good. So again, this metal wire here, supplied by Zinge Industries. Please go and check out their Facebook page and the website for a load of cool products, and of course the product review / unboxing that I also did as well. There we go, that's starting to look quite cool. Right, let's have a look and see what other bits I've got. Right, so I've had a look at my bits and I think I've kind of decided what I'm going to do. So to fill out the side bit here before we get too much done with the arm, I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on there. And I'm not sure exactly which part this is supposed to be, but again, this is from the sprues from the destroyers and breaches. And I'm going to put that in there. A second to set. Now it does leave a pipe hanging out the side, but obviously we'll fill that one in a few seconds. The next thing that I've decided I'm going to do to try and pad out the bottom a little bit there is this. I think it's from the multi-laser on the Sentinel kit. I've extended the pipe a little bit there using the rubber pipe from Zinge, and I'm going to stick this on the back here. Now, like I said, you'll have to excuse it. I've got massive hands, and sometimes it is a little awkward to get stuff where I want it. So it looks as though that's going to end up having to go slightly off center, if I can move it. There we go. Not ideal, but it's not bad. But that does leave these gaps here, and obviously you can see a bit from the side there. So I should have maybe done this before I've built it, but I'm actually going to break off this side, I think, if I can break it off. And what do you know, I can't. Yeah, great resin then. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. It's obviously not as brittle as what I thought. This is going to be awkward for me to try and get this in here, but let's see what we can do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these little balls, kind of tracks, but if I can get it, there we go. I'll wedge it on there, and yeah, not wedging it on there. Get some glue in that gap. Yeah, that's not working. And I'm now getting it stuck. Fantastic. So I've got that little piece there, kind of one of the tracks, and I'm going to put that down in this gap here if I can get it to fit. So I've literally just wedged it in there, but you know what, it doesn't matter, it's all a little bit extra detail, and so far I think this is looking quite good, but I don't like the gap in his back there. So let's have a look at the pipes we got. All these really cool pipes. I do like the bald one, so I'm thinking probably this one, but I'm thinking at the top it might be a little bit I don't know. Let's measure that up, and actually I'm going to cut that one to fit in there, but I've also got these ones. But I feel like that might be a little bit thin. Let's maybe try 3 of these ones. So, what I've actually decided after looking at the bits is to put this little square piece on here. And this was actually chopped off this little sprue with all of the dials and the cogs and everything on there. And then I'm going to use just a smaller piece of the pipe to kind of stick it in there and go into the back of his head. So, I think the details that you can get with these pipes, even though the pipes are very, very simple, the details that you get, the flexibility on these little pipes is really damn cool. And if you can do this and I've just super glued my fingers together. If you can do this with models, I think the joy of ginormous hands, I think you could do quite well kind of sprucing up some scenery with bits and pieces like this. There we go. So I think that's definitely starting to fill out quite nicely now. Next up is going to be the gun on the side. Now this is literally just going to glue straight on. But let's have a quick look. There's supposed to be a little arm goes in there. And what I've done is I haven't glued the guns in because I can literally just push fit them in like that. So this is obviously the torsion cannon. I can do I hope I can do the grav and the plasma. I think they're slightly different connectors, but we'll look to get those magnetized anyway. But I'm more than happy to kind of stick the arm in a solid state on there. Let's get that glued on. And with this side here, I don't mind quite so much that this hasn't got stuff in. You would probably not be able to see it, but I do think there's a little bit of a gap there. So let's get some pipe in there. Let's have a look. I like this kind of multi focus there. It's kind of like 4 or 5 pipes in one, with the little bits and pieces onto, you know, like intersections where it's joined and things like that. I do like that. It's so easy to work with because it's made out of like a rubber. Just stick that in there. Quick bit of super glue. And then I'm going to super glue this one, the end bit on here. And try and look over the top of the camera. Unless you've filmed whilst trying to build or something like this, I don't think you quite appreciate how difficult it actually is to do this. Then obviously we'll stick that in there. This will get magnetized into there. I think I might have to adjust the angle of that slightly because of this. I haven't taken that into consideration. But let's see what else we can add. Right, so the next bit that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of tiny bits of detail. Now that's the reason I've zoomed in, and you can probably see that these are minute. These little pieces are off the sprue. This one from Zinge, some like Tesla coil kind of thing, some little controls, some dials and things like that. And I'm going to put the controls just here on the front, I think. Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for me. No, maybe not. Now obviously not everyone's going to have this level of difficulty. If you've ever met me, you know how big I am. My hands are ginormous. It's a wonder I haven't got arthritis in my hands, I think, from the amount of stuff that I try and do. Where else can we put something? I think let's put a Tesla coil down here at the back. And I seem to be picking the most awkwardest, hardest place to put something. There we go. And then that leaves us with a little dial. I think let's put the dial there on the screen. Almost like he's kind of self-reading his own computer, which obviously we know he wouldn't do because he's a breacher or destroyer, but it just looks canny, I think. I got the refocus for you. Sorry. And so far I'm pretty happy with how this is going, but I want to add a little bit more detail. So what I'm going to do is do a pipe from there, I feel, to the back of the gun. So this pipe, I'm just going to zoom out actually, this pipe is from Zinge Industries as well. It looks as though it's like kind of copper woven wire. I'm just going to trim that end. Very, very easy to bend and work with, and cuts very easily with clippers as well. So let's test fit that. Take a little bit more off there, I think. And there we go, fit that in there quite nicely, and now I can't even find where I've dropped it. See? Ginormous hands, folks. Never have them. And yet somehow it ended all the way up there. Right, let's just flatten that edge. There we go. Right, glue time. There we go. Very cool. The last bit is to magnetize this. I'm not happy with the shoulder quite as it is at the front, so I've got kind of the half Mechanicum shoulder that I think I'm going to glue over the top of that as well, kind of give it like a double panelled shoulder, but we need a magnet in there. Right, so next we're going to apply a magnet. This is a 5x1mm magnet that I bought from eBay. You get about 50 of them for about $3.50. So put a bit of super glue in here. Now what you might need to do sometimes, depending on the surface area, obviously this one is terrible, you might want to pad it out a little bit, so to be honest I probably should have. I've already put the super glue in, but then you kind of want to use your knife to get it in place. And then if it needs adjusting or anything, use kind of a non-metallic surface such as the back of your paintbrush, a pencil, or something along those lines. So hopefully that should be in a good enough position. We'll let that set and come back shortly. But whilst that is going on, I'm going to magnetize the other side of it. I'll just move that out of the way so the focus of the camera will change. So what you want to do is that the way I've done it is when I've applied the magnet to the main model there, I've actually used these just to hold it, just my clippers, and then I kind of sliced the magnet off like that. And obviously be very, very careful when doing it. You can see there I managed to slide it under. and this isn't going well at all. So I've then obviously got the other end of the magnet and just double test it, go near it but not too close to make sure that it is going to pull. So obviously we can see that that's pushing away from each other. So the surface that's pushing away, glue straight to the other side of that so that it's actually the surfaces that are going to attract that will stick together. So we'll get some glue on the arm there. And then just glue it on using the knife. Right, so we've now got the arm with a little bit of glue on there, and we've got another magnet. So what I'm doing is just making sure, for example, there you can see that the surfaces are pushing away from each other, which is good because you then want the surface that pushes away from the magnet obviously facing away. You glue it onto the arm like that, and this glue doesn't seem to want to stick. But yeah, you slide it off and then just manipulate the magnet into place, and then obviously the glue will set. So when that dries, we can then put the two arms together. So we'll give that a few moments and we'll come back in a minute. Right, so here we go. Welcome back. I have stuck the magnets on. I had to stop the camera. It was getting a little bit too fiddly trying to reach around the tripod and everything. So I've moved the camera out of the way and obviously come back. So there we go. There's the magnet on there and the magnet in there as well. And I've just stuck the shoulder pad on. So we've still got the gun here, which is detachable. So that basically clicks in and out of place, so I can swap that for the torsion cannon or the arc rifle. And then of course we've got the hydraulic claw or the arc claw, or because I've still got the spare parts, the phosphor blaster or the Cognis flamer. But oh, there we go. So there we go, folks. My custom made destroyer with a couple of Necron bits, a few spares left over from the destroyer kit, and loads of cool pipes and these tank tracks or treads from Zinge Industries. Please check out my product review video and go and check out their Facebook page and website. I can't thank Zinge Industries enough for sending this stuff over. These are fantastic. I'll hopefully get a painting tutorial done for these guys as well. I'm off to make another two of these though, because these are cool. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on these guys. I'm interested to see if you actually like them. Would you allow them to be used in the game, even though they're not entirely Games Workshop models, but it is pretty clear what they are. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.